Facebook. Okay, there we go. Says we've been working for 27 seconds, so that's lovely. Good morning. I'm just now seeing that it's working, so welcome to Rise and Shine with me, Cassandra Renee. You are watching TQN, the Quarantine Network, and I am Cassandra Renee, and my coaching practice is Wild Blossom Beacon Coaching. And you are tuning in today. I guess I should probably come a little bit more under the light for you. You are tuning in today, and it is Thursday, April 2nd. And Thursdays are a great day. Now, you should practice gratitude every day. It's such a great thing. But specifically, we'll do Thankful Thursday since I'm kitschy. I like themes, and that's fun. So for those of you who are watching, just a friendly reminder, Facebook Live Producer is now out, and it's definitely a beta version. Kinks have not been worked out, and I am unable to see all of your beautiful faces to see who is here. Of course, couldn't see your faces before either, but at least now I can't see if anyone's watching and if they are, who they are. So sometimes my actual computer browser will let me know, which is awesome. But if you want me to know you're here, which I want to know you're here, go ahead and type in on the comments below and say good morning. Let me know where you're tuning in from so I can give you a shout out and say hello. And also, I would love to know the things that you are thankful for so that we can continue to embrace them, embellish them, and celebrate them, and help you attract more of what you're thankful for, to kind of map out new neurological pathways so that you can start bringing more of what you're grateful for, more of what you're thankful for into your life. So go ahead and message in the chat down there what you're grateful for, and we will share that in a little bit. Now, of course, we are going to piggyback where we left off in yesterday's episode, and I did promise that we would go through a process, if you will, of how to uncover your hidden limiting beliefs. So for those of you who are just tuning in, who are not sure what I'm talking about, good morning, Steve. I have to, real quick, since I'm drinking out of this mug, for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and this is like my favorite place in Buffalo. It's Spot Coffee. There's a couple of different franchises, and this mug is so near and dear to my heart because I miss it so much. Anyway, just a little plug there, since if you're seeing Buffalo, I am in Las Vegas. I am not in Buffalo, but I am loosely from Buffalo. So in case you saw that throughout this and got confused. So to kind of give a little bit of a recap, for those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome, good morning. And for those of you tuning in on the recording later, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I am in an odd, energetic place this morning. Anyone else? Did anyone else have like some sort of a weird shift, maybe about an hour ago? I'm curious, actually. I'm genuinely curious if other people had kind of a different sort of an energetic shift, or something kind of went unexpected for you this morning, about an hour ago. Good morning, Tim. Good to see you. Tim Buttles and Tim Baxter. Hey, I'm so happy to see you guys. Good morning. Yeah, so I guess I'll share with you guys because I'm all about being open, and maybe I'll gain some insight from this, and maybe you'll gain some insight from it too. So I am very much somebody who thrives in and around water. which is ironic considering I live in the desert now. And my soul mostly craves for water. And I've found that I have bonded over my life. I've most closely bonded, and I'm not super huge into zodiac, but I found it throughout my life that I actually bond very, very well. I'm a Taurus, and naturally Taurus and Pisces get along really well. But I also have been bonding with Aquarius too, which is another water sign. And at the beginning of this year, I went and bought a bunch of crystals and whatnot. And I was really, really drawn. I was looking for a particular candle. I didn't know exactly what candle I was looking for, but I knew I would know it when I saw it. And I just came upon this water goddess one, and I was like, yep, that's the one. And well, actually, I was specifically, good morning, Christina. I was specifically looking for a frog because in the medicine wheel, within my medicine cards, that's one of my personal medicines. And the frog is about cleansing, is about bringing the rain. And, of course, obviously I had no, insight to what would happen now in 2020. Well, Tiger Lily says good morning. Yes, she does. Okay, baby. And so I've kept this candle since the beginning of the year, and I've kept it in a little empty flower pot, a blue flower pot. I filled that with water, and I put the candle in there. And so I was looking for a frog, and I couldn't find any frog candles or any like little frog figurines. But I found this candle, and it was like a forest green, and it had this little water goddess little trinket emblem tied to it. And it said it was a candle for the water element. And by the way, for those of you just tuning in, this is totally off track from where we've been. I'm just kind of putting this out there to see if any of you can relate. And it's also kind of my way of like sharing my experience with you. So, and on the candle, it actually says, and I've actually only read this once when I purchased it. And it basically said, every single drop of water is totally unique, yet it all comes together to form the unified pool or ocean or, body of water. And you know what? Actually, hang on one second. I'm going to go and just grab it because I want to do it justice, because I think you'll get something out of this. Coincidentally, this actually smells beautiful too. So it says, water is composed of individual drops that are each complete within themselves and also an integral part of the whole. So just like all of us, right? Like we're all totally unique, but we're integral to the whole of humanity, to every part that we play, whether it's just coming into somebody's life for a brief moment in time, never ever seeing them again, but for whatever reason, you stuck in their memory, or vice versa, or coming into somebody's life for a long time. We are all in this together, as individual as our circumstances and our DNA is, but we're all part of this, right? The water goddess affirms our duality as a unique part of creation, yet interconnected with all that is. And I already knew I was going to purchase this candle before even reading all of that. I was like, oh, water goddess, frog, water, it's green. All right, cool. I didn't really look that much into it. And just so you guys see, this was the little trinket that was tied to it. So I was burning the candle, and I knew full well I was being irresponsible. It was really weird the way it was done. This paper that this inscription was written on, it was on paper, and it was taped around the outside of the candle, which was on top of plastic wrapped around the candle. Now, obviously, you should take that off before burning the candle. But then I thought, well, geez, if I do that, then the little goddess trinket that was tied on there won't be on there. This beautiful inscription, which I was kind of thinking symbolically might be beautiful to burn with the candle, but of course, paper burns and smokes, and as does plastic. So I was just like, you know what, whatever, I'll see where it goes. And for up until the past couple days, the candle had just been burning right within the plastic, right within the paper. The paper was actually standing up. Some of the plastic was starting to get singed over the past couple days, but by and large, the wick was mostly centered and just burning. So I'm like, okay, this will be just kind of an interesting experiment. This morning, I was holding somebody in my thoughts who happens to be an Aquarius, and I had tears rolling down my eyes when I woke up, and I hadn't had a dream about them. I just woke up, thought about this person, and I had one single tear. Sent that person love energetically, and went about my morning routine, rise, pee, meditate. And I lit my candle for meditating, and I turned on my binaural beats and closed my eyes, used my mantra. And the cool thing about burning a candle when you're meditating is even though your eyes are closed, they say you light a candle for presence to kind of keep you grounded, even though you're going somewhere else. And even though your eyes are closed, you have this sense, this focus. If you need to come back to control monkey mind, you have this sense and focus of this light that's dancing, this flickering flame right in front of you, that if you have to sense, if you can't mentally bring yourself back, you can somewhat physically see it without seeing it. So I'm meditating, as I do, asking for guidance. And I'm still holding this person in my thoughts. And I'm saying, please send them love. Please send them guidance. And at this moment, so this is literally about an hour and 10 minutes ago, my eyes are watering. And I see in my mind's eye this just poof, this big flame, and I get this drop in internally, because I asked for like a message to carry with me through the day. What's my guidance? And I got this burning desire, this heart's flame, this phoenix arising kind of thing. And then the physical senses kick in and they're like, oh, you should open your eyes. So I open my eyes, and in my flower pot, the whole thing is on fire. Now, thank goodness I had water in the pot, and it's just this ring of candle, plastic, and paper, all aflame. And I'm like, oh, still just, I've always been drawn to fire as well. And I don't know about you guys, but growing up in this kind of environment, we had a bunch of bonfires. And where I should say, I'm actually originally from a tiny little town called Nunday. And we had like 3,000 people, a blinking red light. We didn't even have a main street. We had Mill Street and State Street, like not even a full stop sign. Like people drove tractors and lawnmowers to school. Not even like, that's where I come from. So of course we had lots of bonfires, and we would just stare into the flames for hours, drunk or sober. And it's actually, I saw a meme the other day making fun of meditating, and it was just like, they said Midwest, and I'm like, you have no idea how country upstate New York actually is. But it actually said, I'm from the Midwest. We didn't learn how to meditate. We just stared mindlessly into the flames or something like that. And I'm like, yeah. So I had this moment, and I'm just like, okay, just getting back to my roots. Yep. Obviously the competent adult in me is like, you should probably put that flame out. And yet the esoteric part of me is just like, this is beautiful. And this is symbolic. And oh, my eyes are wet. Okay. All right. And then the fire alarms go off, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to take action. So I put that out and everything. And I just thought it was very interesting for how big the candle actually was, that it stopped burning literally just before this. I mean, we're talking the candle was probably here. And at this point of being totally aflamed, it was probably about here. But everything burned down to just about this. And so this paper was really, really big. And I'm going to do some meditating outside later and actually ground myself to further go into it. But I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was an interesting story, especially for so much to go on in the first hour and a half of being awake, and so early in the morning. And B, to just kind of let it be a reminder, however it shows up for you, but let it be a reminder that we are all a combination of all of the elements: water, fire, earth. Taurus is actually an earth, and air. And we're all very unique. And we all have our own interpretations of how the world shows up for us. And yet, it's all within our control. And we just have to choose how we're going to go about seeing it. You know, there's this ancient thing about the three blind men are each touching an elephant. They're each touching a different portion of the elephant, and they're describing it, and each one's right. They're arguing about it, and then each one is actually right. You know, one's touching the tusk, one's touching the trunk, and one is touching, I don't know, the tail, I think. And so they're each describing it, and none of them can agree that it's the same animal, but it is the same animal. They're all right. They're just focusing on a different aspect. So going, looking at all this and then reading what this little epithet says, water is composed of individual drops that are each complete within themselves and also an integral part of the whole. It's just another reminder that you're not broken. You are complete. You just forgot who you are. And that's okay. We're human. And the great thing about being human is that we make mistakes, and then we have the higher consciousness to be able to go back and understand and go to the root of things. So what we're going to get into today is a higher aspect of being human. And this is actually going to delve more into the theory that we're not human, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Whichever way you decide to subscribe, totally up to you. But definitely take into consideration that, remember, we're only using at best, and these are like peak performers. So you and I, probably not 10% of our brain, which means there is definitely at least 90% that we have not tapped into, that we are unaware of. So you can't say you didn't try, or that you can't say that you're unable to do something, because you totally can. You just haven't figured out how yet. Remember, it's only impossible until it's not, until you do it. So, as always, with everything that I do, I was a very masculine-minded, very logical. If I didn't see it on paper, if it wasn't in a history book, if it wasn't mathematically proven, it didn't exist. Religion was bunk because it was just fairy tales and stories. And I was just such a cynical, logical little girl and teen and young adult and adult. And yet I thought it would be so much fun to believe in magic. And I got to the point where I was just like, all right. I mean, I was agnostic, then I was atheist. And then I was like, all right, Harry Potter's pretty cool. And if y'all are going to make up stories, hear me out. If y'all are going to make up stories about, the Bible or the Torah or whatever, well, I'm going to go with J.K. Rowling, and I choose to believe in Harry Potter. And it was a joke, but it was just that crack in the door that my spirituality needed to get in and say, well, what if this is possible? What if that is possible? what about this? And I mean, to be fair, my whole life I've loved, Merlin, and I've loved, Magic. You're a kid, you like that stuff. And it's fun to think that you can have control over these things. Well, newsflash, you can. And it's you combined with spirit, you combined with God, you combined with the universe. And we don't give ourselves enough credit that we are powerful. We are able to access these things. We just don't know how yet. Just like we didn't know how to tie our own shoes, somebody had to teach us that. Just like we didn't know how to read, or we didn't know a new language, or we didn't know. It wasn't that we were incapable. We just didn't know yet. Somebody had to guide us. Somebody had to teach us. And now that is my understanding of religion, of spirituality. And so what I'm asking you to do today, to dive deeper and to discover your personality anchors, these hidden limiting beliefs that have been keeping you stuck, holding you back from love, holding you back from wealth, holding you back from success in any way, shape, or form. These things that have been holding you back, I'm asking you to just keep an open mind and open yourself up, open your heart, open your mind up to the possibility, as weird, far out, hippy dippy, silly blonde white girl with her crystals, odd as it, eye rolling as it can be, to just give it a shot. Who knows? It might just be the bunny ear chasing the rabbit around the hole that gets your shoes tied. It just might be. And if it's not, it's an amusing amount of your time. So, all that to say, for those of you just joining, we have been working on, for the past couple weeks, first we were working on laying the foundations of our health, getting primed and ready to take advantage in this time to really dive deep. Then we started being conscious and aware of the thoughts we're thinking, so that we can then be aware of the words we're speaking, and then the actions, making sure it's all aligned. Because if we're saying something but doing something else, or we're saying something but we're actually desiring a different thing, we're not going to get what we're desiring, because we're saying and doing and putting out there something else, and going back to the root of all that. Well, then we started talking about taking a look at how things have shown up for us, how we've become who we are, because I say it all the time, so I'll say it again. Who you are today is not who you really are. It's only who you've become so far. So who you really are is who you were, that young child before the age of 7, running around. The world is your oyster. You can do anything. No one told you no. Or if they did, it still didn't sink in yet, and you kept going because you were determined and nothing was impossible. And you love doing this activity or that activity, and your laughter was pure joy. And now you get older and you find things funny, but it's not the same kind of laughter. There are confines, there's structures, there's regiments, there's rules, there's laws. I'm not saying that those are all bad. Some of them I disagree with, but they have their time and place when used properly. But not when it comes to you being you. Sure, show up professionally for work. Sure, show up maturely to model an example for your children. But still be you. And so many of us don't even know who that is anymore. And that's largely in part because of these personality anchors from these limiting beliefs that we have attached and subscribed to and said, this is me. This is me. Yeah, that's who I'm going to be. Yep. And it's either the way people operate, and think about how this shows up for you. People operate either they're running towards something, they're pursuing something, or they're running away from, they're protecting. Now you can look at yourself and say, well, I run towards these things, but I run away from these things. Think about it in the majority, right? Because, we're not all black or white. We're not just one way or the other. But really think about yourself as a whole. Are you largely a person that goes and seeks out pleasure mostly? Or are you mostly a person who plays it safe and plays not to win, but maybe just plays not to lose? When I first heard that, whoa, it was like, wait, I didn't even realize that was an option. And yet it's totally an option, and it's a crappy option, but it's a reality nonetheless. When you're playing the game, this game of life, but you're just playing not to lose, like just enough to get by, just, I don't need much. It's okay. I don't, when you are the third limiting belief of being a burden, believing more success brings bigger problems. Like, no, it's okay. I can't ask for help. I don't need help. It's okay. Well, if you're going to just a little, just the smallest piece, I don't want to impose. It's just, no, that's playing not to lose. You're in the game, but you're not playing to just shine, versus the crime of outshining. Like, I'm awesome, I'm doing this, but you're not bragging about it. You're just being you. Like, you're being the star in the play, in the musical, and the the captain of the soccer team, or the leader in the choir. Like, you're just naturally using your gifts, and other people are like, who does he think he is? He thinks he's so awesome. So what if he does? That's on him. Why don't you also think you're awesome and go find the thing that you're good at? But unfortunately, they're so awesome that they're also taking into consideration what you're saying. And, oh, well, I don't want to make them feel bad. So it's not that big of a deal. Even though they might have practiced for hours and put in the hard work, really, it's nothing. Like, I'm sure you can do it. Like, I'm not that good, really. I'm not that great. Show up like that. And since we're going this way, the other two, feeling fundamentally flawed. I'm not enough. No matter what I do, it's never good enough. I just scored 2 goals, but you know what? I missed that dribble, and I missed that pass when they sent it to me, and I know I could have pushed myself harder, and I didn't. And it's not. I can't. Being a perfectionist. Never knowing when to quit, working yourself to the bone, burning the candle at both ends. Yeah. And disloyalty and abandonment. Are you going to exile yourself if you follow who you really are? Are people not going to accept you if they knew the real you? So feeling fundamentally flawed is, you already know that even if you were the real you, they're not going to accept you. Disloyalty and abandonment is, I'm only accepted if I follow these rules. But if I'm being true to myself, I'm not. And I can still go off and be awesome, but I'm detaching and breaking away from them, and they won't like me anymore. So in order to be accepted, I have to follow this, which I don't really want to do. So those two are more of the playing not to lose, right? Playing, just those are the running away, versus being a burden and the crime of outshining tend to still go and pursue what they want to do, but they don't live up to their full potential. None of these live up to their full potential because they're not being authentically them. They're either shying away or they're going, but not going all the way. So we're about exactly halfway through the segment. And as promised, because I can talk about this stuff forever, I'm going to cut myself off on that and go through this exercise. So to do that, I'm going to bring up my buddy Josh Stoddard. Again, he's given me permission to use his music. He creates sound baths which are really cool. Very nice binaural beats, very relaxing. If you like his stuff, you can go to joshuastoddardsound.com and you can check out his music there. And maybe when all this stuff's over, you can book a sound bath with him. So again, keep an open mind. I'm going to walk you through this exercise, and I will tell you that this exercise radically changed my life. So a little caution to this. This will, if you're open to it, radically alter your life. It will likely set into motion a very difficult time going forward. Nobody gave me this warning when I went through it. So I'm doing you a favor, and I'm not saying this to scare you away. I hope that you'll stick with it and do it. I am just, everything that I do is because I've done it and it's worked for me. And I've gone through the crap to get to the beautiful flower. Like, I've gone through the fertilizer, and it was smelly and disgusting and gross. Not literally. But that's what self-growth is. That's what doing all the deep inner work is. And that's why so many people don't do it, because once they get, and this applies to pretty much anything. When something gets a little bit difficult, when the muscles start to actually really kind of hurt, people back off. They don't want to go through the pain. They don't want to feel it. And that's natural, right? Fight or flight. Like, we naturally don't want to go through that. But I will guarantee you it is so worth it if you stick with it and you go through this. Everybody's timeline is different. I have done this twice with Marissa Peer. She guided this through 2 different Mind Valley reunions that I went to. And I think the first time there were about 800 of us in the room. And the next time I think there was about 1,200 of us in the room. And every single time, people are crying. And I'm not saying this to build it up and say, like, you gotta cry. No, I'm just giving you the reality of how this works, because it's so cathartic. And I hope that I can do it justice. So far, my clients that have done this have had the same results. So I hope I'm on the right track. I am not certified. She actually has a certification for this. I will just preface, I am not certified in this. I am just going with what I know, going with what I feel, going with what worked for me, hoping that it can, at the very least, shed some light for you. So you have the resources if you would like to dive deeper, or we can talk about it more. There have been absolute sobs in these rooms of hundreds of people, just earth-shattering sobs, bringing people to their knees in the release, the experience of the memory that has been holding them back. It's kind of like an exorcism in a way. It's powerful. So you can do this multiple times. And this is why I said before that I so encourage you to be live. So I hope you guys are still here with me. This live producer thing, I can't see anyone watching. I can only tell from the comments. So I hope you're still here, and I hope that you're ready to go with this. You can totally do the recorded version of this when it's out, but the live is just, it's energetically, because we're connecting, it is that much more powerful. So again, just go into this with an open mind. And for me, it took me a solid 1.5 to 2 years where I just was utterly vulnerable after this. Like, my walls, I literally, like, this thing was exercised out of me, and my walls came down, and everything was so beautiful. But because my walls were down, I was letting in, so I was feeling so much more pain and sadness, because my childlike nature came to the surface instead of all the walls that the adult puts around to, like, okay, protect you. Like, it's okay. Like, brush it off. It's okay. Those were gone. And I had to relearn how to live as an adult with maintaining who I really am and merging the two together. So it's a process. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you, for those of you with me doing this, Steve, amazing. Seek assistance going forward with this. Whether you reach out to me, another life coach, Marissa Peer herself, whomever, seek connecting with somebody who's been through these transformational things, who can be there for you, because it's not fun going through it by yourself. That's what we're here for. That's what people who do what I do, that's why we're here, because we know what it's like and we know that it's worth it. And any guidance that we can help give to you to help smooth the transition and ease the way and be there for you, we will. So, all right. Hope I didn't totally scare you. Let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and just sit up straight, comfy position, and close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths. And picture in your mind's eye, you're walking through a beautiful forest. And you see the trees, the grass, and the beautiful flowers. They're so tall you can almost touch them from just standing. And you smell the cool, fresh air. You can almost feel the earth beneath your feet. And as you walk along, you notice this beautiful, inviting cave. You can see a few steps down, but you're not afraid. You're actually very calm and a little excited. There's this warmth from it, like a loving hug. And you know everything you need is down there. And so together, we're going to walk down these steps. 10, 9. As you're walking down into this cave, time is starting to pass by you. Years are falling away, rushing past you. Visions of your life are going past you, memories. 8, 7. You're seeing loved ones, you're seeing family, you're seeing childhood friends, teen life, young adult life. Everything is rushing past you very quickly. You're going deeper and deeper and deeper into your past. 6, 5. Deeper. Memories are flooding past you, faster, faster, faster. You're rushing by. You're getting younger and younger. 4. Memories are going past. You're getting younger and younger. 6, 5, you're getting younger. You're getting into your toddler years. You're getting into your really, really younger years. 3, deeper, deeper. You're going inner. 2, you're almost at the bottom of the cage. Keep going, deeper, deeper. Memories are flooding past you. Years are going by. You're young. You're so, so young. 1. You are exactly where you need to be. In your mind's eye, when I count to 3, you will be able to see, hear, feel, and know the answers to every one of these questions. Is it nighttime or is it daytime? Ready? 1, you're going to know the answers to all these questions immediately when I say 3 and snap my fingers. 1, 2, 3. Is it daytime or nighttime? How old are you? Who are you with? What is happening? In this memory, your eyes and your ears are open. You can see everything that's going on all around you. You can hear everything that's going on all around you. What's happening? What's being said? You may not be conscious of this memory, but it is real. Take it as a given truth. Whatever has shown up for you is your reality. And now we're going to take this memory like a little snow globe. And we're just going to set it aside. And now you're going to think of the time, the very first time that you felt that you were not enough, that somebody told you you were not enough, not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, not handsome enough, not strong enough, not good enough because of your race, your abilities, your physical abilities, disabilities, advantages. When I snap my fingers, time is rushing by you right now. Your memories are flooding. People are passing by. All these images are going by, deeper, deeper, deeper. And now, where are you? Is it nighttime or daytime? How old are you? Who are you with? Or are you by yourself? What is happening? Your eyes and ears are totally open. You can see and hear everything in this moment. It's okay. It's okay. You are enough. Don't let that memory bring you down anymore. We're going to take that memory, just like another snow globe. We're going to set that aside. And one more time. Years flooding past you, deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious. Finding that time, that moment of truth where you decided, not when somebody told you, but when you actually agreed and affirmed that you were not enough. Deeper, deeper memories are flashing by you. All right, what was happening? Who's with you? Memories flooding. And now, is it daytime or nighttime? How old are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? Or are you alone? Your eyes and ears are totally open. You can see and hear all around you. The space that you're in. What was it that had you decide, this is who I am, and it's not enough, and I will live my life either pursuing this other thing or running away from it? Now we're putting this memory into another snow globe. And now you can see all three of these memories in these globes. You can see each moment that has so affected you, that has anchored within you and brought you to who and how you are today. And in seeing these memories, you can now see that they're not you. They're just your memories. They're situations that you interpreted as best as you could with what you had at the time. This younger version of you, while you're in this cave, hold out your hand as adult you. Hold out your hand for younger you to step out of these memories, out of these snow globes, and into your embrace, at whatever ages they are. And hug them. Hold on to them. And repeat with me, I love you. You are enough, exactly as you are. I'm here now. Don't worry about those others back there. I'm here to take care of you. I'm so proud of you for how strong you've built these walls and protected yourself, and how much you've gone through to bring me where I am now. Thank you. Because I am you, you know that I love you unconditionally. I know what you've been through. But I'm older now, wiser and stronger. And I now know You don't have to be any of these things anymore. Will you please let me allow you to still be the vibrant, loving, talented, amazing soul that you are and always have been? And look at your little young self and see them nodding yes as they're hugging onto you. And then say to them, I've got it from here. I will protect you now. We don't need these walls. We don't need these burdens. They are not us. Repeat with me. They are not us. That's not me anymore. Repeat it out loud. Say it. That's not me anymore. I am not what happened to me. I am not the things they said about me. I am not what I have forced myself to become. I am better. I am love and loved. I am strong. I am enough. Again, I am enough. Again, I am enough. And as you hug onto your younger self, you can take your younger self by the hand. And together, you're going to walk out of this cave, up the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The sun is starting to shine. You're feeling warm. You're feeling revitalized. 9, 10. You're back in the present. You are whole. And you are forever changed to who you really are. You may open your eyes. Whew. All right, guys, talk to me. I'm so glad I didn't do full makeup today. Oh, powerful, right? Gets me every time. Even when I do this for others, I tap in to the collective energy. And I'm very energetically sensitive. I'll just say that. And I can feel some, not all, but I can feel some of what you guys are going through. And it's, I felt a shift. And right now I'm feeling, for some of you guys, it's kind of caught here, right? It's intense. Yeah, Steve. Where you started to release some stuff, but then you kind of choked it down, and it's still right in here. Take it as it is. You don't have to rationalize it. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to try to rack your brain and remember these actual specifics. You don't have to question, did that actually even happen? Or no, that's not the way it happened. It actually happened like this. The crazy thing about the brain is it is so powerful that if something is so traumatic, it can almost immediately rewrite the story so it's not that bad. Or it can be something so simple and benign that it rewrites the story to make it seem like it was something way worse than it was, to keep you from going there, because it was so painful and yet so innocent. And therefore, it was so complex that it messed you up to the degree it did. Because how could something so simple as my mom being on the phone saying she wished she could go out with whoever it was, but couldn't, ruin the next 30 years of my life? Huh? Like, no, it had to have been something bad. Like, she had to have been like a terrible, evil mother. She had to have been like, well, I mean, she did physically abuse me a little, but like, no, she had to have been like super evil. You're like, and your brain comes up with all these things because rationally that doesn't make any sense. So it had to be something worse. Or conversely, it could be something so traumatically bad that your brain's just like, don't even remember it. Don't know what you're talking about. Never happened. Deep. Nope, didn't happen. And the brain is amazing like that. And it's these exercises that help you get into this comforted, relaxed state of mind to allow yourself the possibility. And this is where meditation comes in. It allows thoughts to come and go and just to see them as what they are. And that is exactly how to take this, to see it for whatever it was and accept it for what it is. A thought, an image, maybe a memory. Do I know if my memory, my personality anchor with my mother, do I know if that actually happened? For sure, for certain? No. Do I believe it did? Yes. Because it's one of the things that came up for me when I did this for the first time. And pretty much everything in my life was able to be traced back to that. So you're going to have some questions. Things are going to pop up. And what I love about doing this exercise is that for a while, you're going to start connecting the dots. And that's the whole purpose of this exercise. There's this initial upheaval. We just cleared up a bunch of muck. Please drink a lot of water today and over the next couple of days, but especially today. Please hydrate, because you just unearth a lot. Like with lactic acid buildup in your muscles from exercising, you just release a lot of toxins in your body. You do have to flush those out. So please hydrate. I know my time's coming to a close here. Please hydrate. I do want to really connect with all of you who went through and did this with me. So please send me a message, because I want to be respectful of my other broadcasters and let them have their time slot. But there is still more that I would like to cover with you. So I'm going to head over to my personal page, or not my personal page, not this Cassandra Smith junk, but Cassandra Renee I'm going to head over there and pop on live super quick. So if you're not already following me, go over there right now so I can be respectful of my other quarantiners. So head over to Wild Blossom Beacon Coaching. You can just type in Wild Blossom Beacon. It'll pop up on Facebook. Head over there right now. I'll meet you there so we can just kind of put a pretty bow on this to continue because it is so, so important for what you've just done. You've given yourself a gift, and don't let's make sure you get the best use out of it. So for everybody who's joined me, thank you so much. I hope to see you over here in Wild Blossom Beacon so we can put a bow on this. And everybody, again, have a wonderful day. Cough into your elbow, wash your hands, and stay home. I love you. I'll see you over at Cassandra Renee, Wild Blossom Beacon in just a moment.